Yo, what's up everybody? It's Bodingles here. I haven't made a video in a while. I've been playing Flesh and Blood this whole time, a little more casually lately, but a new hero came out, Fang, and I took it to an RTN, and I'm about to take it to one tomorrow. And I just wanted to kind of talk about the deck, like catalog it for my own memory, but also just talk about like my new favorite hero. I really haven't had this much fun with the game since Dromai. I know I kind of said that with Vincent, but this deck, I don't know what it is about it. I'm just a little addicted. So yeah, like I said, I kind of wanted to talk about my experience, catalog this list so I can see where I came from, because I've made a lot of changes for my event tomorrow, and I'm feeling a lot more confident. But even with this list, I managed to make top 8, and then my friend scooped me into top 4 because he isn't going to play nationals. So on my own performance, made top 8, but I did get my invite technically with Fang. So I just wanted to talk about the deck. This card is... I really wish, by the way, their rainbow foils were a little better. Like, I love how this looks, but the Pringles are disgusting. Alright, so we'll start with the equipment. You got his daggers, the Obsidian Fire Vein, which I kind of just learned the name today because of my friend Levi. But this weapon is insane. Pretty much turning all your reactions once you're online into 0 for 4s. But their reaction speed with Go Again is really difficult for your opponent to block. Sometimes they have on hits, other times they don't, but they might think they do. You have a lot of cards in this deck that allows you to swing with these up to like 3 or 4 times. It's just, they're very fun to use, and very, very powerful. So I haven't played around with Quicksilver Dagger. I never plan to. Maybe if someone else proves me wrong. Then you got Dynamo, which is just busted. I know there's the new Draconic feat, but this card just gets you so much value. And at the time of this build, I wasn't playing very many attack actions, so this was just fitting better. I don't think you have a better option than this. It's kind of whatever, but still blocks for 3 and has Battle Worn. I prefer Grains because, as you'll see later, my list has a lot more blues. Yeah, so this can sometimes just fix hands where you have that extra resource from your blue, carries over to your next turn, and sets you up to not really need to pitch. You can even do some plays, like I play Command and Conquer, as you'll see later. I've had some times where I'm really just popping off on someone where I get 2 Vigors to carry over, and I'm already online, and I can go like dagger for 4 into Command and Conquer off of 3 cards, which is just crazy. My default helmet is Crown of Providence. I love this card. I think it's so good. It just lets you arsenal bullshit a lot of time and be super greedy. It's just a good, solid card. And then Kabuto was for like the Warrior Mirrors. I would play it into Aurora. Probably if I ran into Brutes, I would play this for their Blood Rush turns. But yeah, it's pretty underwhelming. And then I played No Rune Gloves because Viscera was still legal. But then also, when I would play against Aurora, if they ever resolved like CLV and Sigil and I couldn't pay for it, I felt like I just lost the game instantly. So I wanted a piece of Arcane Barrier. We'll go first into the Draconic cards that I never took out of my deck. So you had 3 Blistering Blades. This is was the most underwhelming card. It's cool that it can make your dagger 5 on the back end if they're not accounting for it, but it always works, has potential upside, but it's pretty mediocre. It'd be the first one I look to cut. Then you had Searing Gaze, which this also feels whatever, except the mark text is so important. The faster you get online, the faster it feels like you're cheating. So I think it's just worth the inclusion always. And then in terms of getting online, this card is amazing. Firm Loyalty is so good. Just by default, get the fealty. Sometimes they block, thinking they're going to stop something like Searing Gaze, and you're like, doesn't really matter. I just wanted my fealty. Because, like I said, I'm on blues, I play this card, but this card is going to be one of the ones that I cut. It's good. It also puts your attack up to 5, but needing that one resource, even with the blues, just feels obnoxious. And then when you're turned on it's like the one draconic attack reaction I don't want to see because I don't want to pitch for it, and I'm not often feeding into grains or something. So this has just felt worse and worse the more I've played. Long Whisper Loyalty is probably the best reaction. This one's really good though too, but there's just so much uses for this. It's even really cool that this card allows you to like react, but then target a dagger that hasn't swung yet, to give it like the mark text, so you can do cool little juke plays. It's like super powerful. Obviously blocks 3. It lets you on bigger turns when you can have like 5 or 6 card hands. Make sure you swing a bunch of extra times. It's just super, super powerful. Then you have Hunt's End. This card feels like it is in your hand 9 out of 10 times on your first hand, where you can't use it. You just got to be used to pitching it into your deck. I don't think you ever want to go down from playing 3. It's just that powerful. Like late game, you can have 1 card hands of this, or with your dynamos, you're getting what? A 1 card 8. It's just crazy. Another card I really like is Pledge of Fealty. I just think, once again, if you get online fast enough, it's super good. And sometimes people block expecting their attack to go up to 4, and this is kind of the same as Affirm Loyalty, where it's like, I don't really care. I just got the go again, got closer to my engine. Pledge Fealty has been very, very good. I think the upside of getting them early far outweighs the potential downside of having them later. It's also a really good card to have for Prism, where like if they Arclight you, you can just like play this to make sure that your fealty stack doesn't go away while you deal with the Arclight. And then the only attack I was playing was Oath of Loyalty. It's just like such a good rate. Plus it allows you to get like your effects like these online sooner, just on your first dagger, so that can be really important. This card was great. The only reason I kind of wish I didn't play this in this build was, other than this, I was immune to Codex. So yeah, that's just something to think about. It's like, if I was playing this few again, maybe it's just worth not including them at all. I could have sided it out, but it just felt too powerful. So then going on to the warrior-specific cards, I played Sworn Vengeance, right? I just think getting online is super important. This card, I was like, it's pretty low opportunity cost, but it actually is one of the worst cards that I played by far. It blocks for 3, it applies mark, but it's like, I might as well play a different card, which I don't like anyway, which is this. Or like if I compare the rate, I send in an attack on the dagger of 4 on 1 attack, but that costs a resource. I could just send this. Neither are draconic. I know this could scale up, which was what my thinking was, but it just in practice didn't play out very well. So this would get cut, but it's like a totally like block first kind of card. Scar Tissue is pretty amazing, honestly. And you'll see I play this in yellow too. But this card is just so good, and then when you have too many fealties, this being like, putting your dagger up to 5 can be really obnoxious. Remarking them, it's just been super, super powerful. And then Twist and Turn, I loved. This card really let me pop off against people. You can just hit them so many times, and it's like the first dagger can come in for 5, or you could like send a dagger, react, make it 4, close the chain, play this. That one comes in for 5, and you still have cards in hand, and they're like, they might have already blocked on the first one a bit. They're not prepared to block out for this, and they just eat so much damage. And then I played 3 Savor Bloodshed. It wasn't the best in this build, but I just figured, like, this card is so powerful. If it lines up, worst case, it blocks for 3. Hopefully I'm marking people, right? I played a decent amount of mark effects, but probably not enough. I want to keep this card, but in my future builds, I need to change some of the other things. But this card, I think I got the draw 1 time in all my rounds, so it wasn't amazing. Then I'll go on to the resource base. Like I said, I played blues, but I'm going to start with yellows. Yellow Scar Tissue is like an absolutely insane card. This might be one of my favorite cards in the deck because it can pay for your both your dagger swings, but also if you crack your fealty to turn this Draconic, it puts your dagger at the 4 breakpoint. It's very powerful. Like every aspect of this card, other than the 2 block, I love. I don't think I'll ever cut this from a Fang deck. Now on to the blues. I played 3 Provoke. Provoke is an awesome card, except it actually feels a lot better into controlling decks, and I was excited for Warrior to have interaction for decks that just never want to block you. But against those decks, you're pretty much just like better off blocking with this. So it's kind of only good in those matchups, in my opinion, when you're already just like destroying them and you have extra cards. And you're like, oh yeah, by the way, you have even less cards in your hand. I'm also a little biased because in this event, I can do a quick recap later, but I played against a new. I was an idiot. New banished all of these and 2 glints. Thankfully, they made a mistake in my opinion. They could have just like killed me and used all my provokes, but they didn't see the line. And not only they would have used all my provokes, but they would have used all my provokes, which would have got rid of my hand and then played 2 glints to draw 2 new cards. It would have been disgusting. That's not a reason not to play this card. It just didn't work out as well. And even with these resources, I don't want to be pitching all the time. So like, this card was really just good into defensive decks, and that's not what I want. Relentless Pursuit is awesome. This and Pledge Fealty and a few other interactions, I feel like make it so Fang is comfortable going first. And I feel like that's pretty unique for like a pretty aggressive deck. This card, just a blue block 3 that has Mark. Mark is too important to you. I really love this card. It's very rare in this build that this goes back into your deck, but who gives a shit about that? Like I said, Twist and Turn I liked a lot in red. I'm just going to play it as my resource card too because it has such a powerful effect in my opinion. And then I played Glint. Glint is just awesome. It's been awesome for a while. I think out of all of Warrior's terrible blues, this is far from one of them. Yeah, I was pretty happy with the resource cards other than Provoke. Didn't perform quite as well as I'd hoped, but I really wanted to test it. And then these are the cards that weren't always in, but I wanted in my list. Blade Flurry. This is for like any matchup where I can't really take a defensive posture, or if I feel like it's really going to be mid-range and I want to just have good 1-card plays after I get online. This is very, very powerful. It's just like above rate for a Warrior reaction. It's a really good card. It's just, I'm struggling to talk on this because at the time of this build, it was more so like, I know this card's powerful. I need to include it, but it didn't feel like part of a cohesive plan. Just a strong card. I played 3 Command and Conquers to fight both Prism and Syndra, which I was really struggling with, and that Syndra was actually my only loss on the day. Even against Syndra, this did not help. It'll still be in my list because Prism's everywhere and it's just like such a good card. But it doesn't feel the best. Then I played Sink Below over Shelter. I just really value in decks that are kind of synergy based the ability to fix your hand. I think this card is so good. A lot of times I arsenal defense reactions. I know it's not unique to me, but what I'm getting at is like Shelter, I need to specifically have it in my hand for the turn. It gets a lower rate when you do that. I know it's powerful. I guess I'm comfortable playing this, and I love the effects so much that I didn't really feel like dropping the money on Shelter, and I feel like this card works just as well. This card was amazing. It still is amazing. I love that all you got. The name is hilarious. Against Arachne, this card, like, I feel like this gave me like 10-15 percentage points in the matchups. You can board up, and it helps with your resource curve because you just need 2 for your 2 daggers. When they want to mark you so badly and you just get to like 1 card deny that and draw a new card, when your deck is so low cost curve, like all your draws are pretty good. This card is just like so good, and I'm going to be sad to play this deck in a meta when this card is not as good, but oh man, I can't recommend this card highly enough. It was so good. Then Loyalty Beyond the Grave is also very crazy. I don't know if it's like busted, but it lets you do some gross stuff where you just like, get these in your graveyard early. If they ever don't like establish a strong enough turn, you can do like 6 to 7 card plays. Like let's say you have 2 of these, you have an arsenal, they're marked, and you play this, or you have a way to mark them. You can just do so much damage. You like on Talishar, you'll see your stats. You're doing like 12-point turn, 12-point turn. You get online, it starts going up to like 16 to 18, and then you do one pop off turn, and you go well over 30. It's just this card is so cool. It obviously defense reaction that blocks 3 is like not the best, but this effect is like so unique and powerful, and drawing cards is, as everyone knows, amazing. Tooth of the Dragon is also very incredible. It allows you to juke them on their first attack, like when they start getting low. It makes things really impossible. It's good when you play more attack actions, which this build isn't. This is also good in the Arclight situation against Prism. It's just so flexible, even though it can't block, which feels weird for me because I like all my cards to block. But yeah, this card is like absolutely incredible. I'm almost always happy to see it. Worst case, it's just like a nimbleism. It's just very, very powerful, and this going forward is just like a main deck card. Then the final cards I played were these 3. So I had Jagged Edge is like a hedge for when I just need more damage, or if I play against Enigma or Prism. Imperial Seal, there's a lot of people near me playing like Guardian decks, actually, Riptide decks, and it's just like, that shit's annoying. If I can play one card that just like blows out the game, right? If I'm trying to set up that like 6 card, 7 card hand, and I have this on the field, and I'm like, you cannot block with half of your hand, the game kind of ends. And right on that same game plan of trying to establish a massive turn, that's where Fire and Brimstone is good. But this card is so good, like the bigger your hand is, in my opinion, and some matchups you're not afforded that, so that's why I didn't always just main deck it. But yeah, that's kind of the list. I guess I can just run through my matchups real quick and think about if there are any key cards. But so the first round I played against New. This was Count Your Blessings New. It was a real slog, but down to like the final, 10, 15 cards in my deck, I did enough damage to get there. Then instantly I went into another New. Another notable play from that game, which was really cool for my friend, is I was trying so hard to set up a big hand to just like push through and finish the game. And he found, I forgot they have the Chi that banished, so he hit my first Loyalty Beyond the Grave. The other one was in like the bottom 10 cards of my deck. I didn't get to do this. It was a really heads up play from him. I'm also kind of an idiot because in my graveyard, I will like do this so I don't forget. And yeah, it makes it kind of easy for my opponent not to forget too. So shout out to Ryan for playing heads up there. So beat Ryan, instantly go into the next guy who's also on New, but he is on like a much more aggressive plan. And that's the game where I totally should have lost. He banished, all of, it was like this was in my banish, I believe. I'm tempted to say he might have had a twist and turn in there, but yeah, I like got low. He did like a pretty questionable like double attack play plus a dagger, but he had a Chi, so he could have just like done it differently, I think. Actually, not I think, I know. So that game I got really lucky, but it was a nail biter, really fun game, super cool dude. Sorry, my computer screen went black. Past that round, I went on to play a Victor. Victor was insane. I was down, I want to say, about 20 life within the first. Right, I have like no attack actions. I'm not winning clashes. So within the first 4 turns, my opponent resolved all 3 trounces, I believe. Or it might have been one golden... Sorry, it might have been one test... Like the 0 for 4 block draw card, 2 trounces, and 2 gold main estates. He was just swimming in damage. I eventually got turned on and crawled it back, which was crazy. That was a game where, once again, Oath of Loyalty was insane. Because he was throwing... He sent at me, I want to say it was like a spinal for 15 towards the end of the game. And he's like, there's no way you cover this. And my Oath of Loyalty allowed me to play my 1 card, swing, but that Oath draw drew me the 3rd Oath of Loyalty that I pocketed, and then I drew 3 3-blocks plus a Draconic reaction, and I had Dynamos, so he like sends this, I cover the Crush effect. He's not expecting that at all, and managed to close out that game. So that was insane. That was like the most fun game of Flesh and Blood I've played in forever. Went on to play his friend who was on Arachne Marionette. That dude was a super nice player, knowledgeable. I was learning stuff, but he kind of got the bad end of variance. I think I got to resolve like all 3 of my all you gots. So he just had like really clunky starting turns. I got to get online really quickly because I kept huge grips, and then just kind of like exploded on him. I think I did like a 29 damage turn. The life disparity was too big. No matter what he sent at me, I was like, no blocks. You're kind of just dying. After that round, I got paired into my friend Arjun on Aurora, but we were both undefeated, and it was the final round, so we just split, like, drew. And then the next round, I got paired into my friend John, who got me into the top 4. John gave me that work on Syndra. It was bad. I, like, had absolutely no game plan. It really gave me a lot to think about because John's a good player, but he's definitely not practiced. So I was like, man, if I lost by like 20 plus. It was not good. I'm like, I really got to approach this game plan differently. But yeah, overall, super fun event. Shout out to my friend Jason for getting Arachne LL points. Yeah, it was a ton of fun. So I guess the only thing left I want to say in this video is the cards that I definitely plan to change. Gonna be cutting Provokes. I already have another list, so I'll try to make a follow-up video. But Provokes, like the reason I'm doing this now is because I want to unsleeve this deck, but I forgot the deck list. So these will be coming out in favor of Yellow Twist and Turns. The card was good, but I want to keep 15 resource cards. This card is coming out, like I said, it was pretty mediocre. This card, my resource curve is getting a little lower. I'm going to swap from blues to yellows. And this card already felt bad, so I'm going to remove that. And I want to lean harder into just marks rather than this, even though this is powerful. These will be coming out. They were perfectly mediocre. And then I think it is just this Jagged Edge. I've played a few games against Enigma since this RTN, and I never really felt that I needed it. So yeah, these cards are all going to be changed for this weekend, but past that, I really liked a lot of the cards that I played. It should be better for me now that Viscera is gone, and I don't have to worry about that. So that's why I feel a little more confident, too, even turning this into a yellow. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's felt good to make one. If you enjoyed it, give it a like. Thank you very much. Bye.